Hello and welcome to another edition of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. I am so excited to be here. It's Monday, the 26th of April, and I love doing this show. It is always so enlightening. I love what comes out of it. I love the comments, and I love everything about it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let me know where you're from. And today I'm going to, as always, deep dive into loss and how you can easily move beyond any kind of loss. So please, as I said, let me know where you're from, comment, and as always, please let me know if you have any issues with loss, like what is stopping you from moving forward, because we've never ever been taught how to easily move beyond loss. And it's an issue because there are over 40 different loss events that we all will endure throughout our lives. Maybe not all 40, but we certainly will. Okay, hi, hi, how are you? Nice to see you from New Zealand. Marie, I do not do cards. I am a beyond loss expert and I help people to move beyond loss. So I totally understand if you choose not to be with me for the next hour, because that's what it's all about. Hi, Angela, nice to see you from Adelaide. And let's get started because, as I said, there are over 40 different loss events that are going to affect all of our lives. And there's not many of us that actually know what to do when loss comes to visit. We get stuck. We get conflicting advice from just about everyone on what to do. And sometimes we just end up frozen, not really knowing what to do. And that's what I love to do. I love to help people to get unstuck, to realize that there is a gift in every single loss event that can affect our lives. And I know that may sound really crazy when you're in the midst of loss, but believe me, there is always a gift, no matter what loss event is happening in your life. Hi, Angela. I think I said hello before. And hi, Carice. I hope that is how you pronounce your name. And of course, if not, I apologize. So let's get started because it really is so much fun to be able to share this information. So for all of you who don't know who I am, as I said, I am a beyond loss expert, and I used to be a CFO of a publicly listed company. And if people don't know what that is, that's an accountant. Completely different to what I am doing now. But good, I did say your name right. Thank you. Awesome, Carice. So what made me go from being a CFO to obviously becoming a beyond loss expert and really wanting to assist people to be able to move beyond loss? Of course, I've had many major losses in my life, but the one that sort of is the one that really got me to stop, even though it took another loss event in order for me to actually stop and deep dive into loss, was the passing of my son nearly 10 years ago. It was horrific. We thought a healthy 27-year-old had gone out with his mates the night before, and we woke up, my husband and I, to find our son had actually passed away at our back door, which was horrific, right? I'm not going to downplay it. It was horrific, but the way I coped with it was I did what everyone tells you to do. Just keep busy, just give it time, everything will be all right. And of course it wasn't. And I now know that that was meant to be my wake-up call. And it was meant to have been Dan's passing that got me into doing what I'm doing now. But I then had to, 15 months later, because I just kept working more, eating more, drinking more. That was my coping mechanisms, which isn't really a coping mechanism. And that's why when I took redundancy, when the company I was working for was merging with another, that was when I actually took the time to actually go, wait on, there's something different going on here. There's really is something that I need to deep dive into and to actually change. So let's get started because it's really important. Hi, Kerry. Hi, Sally. Hi, Cindy. Great to see you all here. So have you ever noticed that our life's journey is a constant infinity journey of us going from love to loss? And whilst most of us know how to do love, we get stuck when it comes to loss. And that's why I do what I want to do. And it's really important that we understand that this is our constant journey, because there are over 40 different loss events that will affect our lives. Each and every one of us are all going to experience loss. Sure, some are more tragic than the others, but it's really important that we understand that loss is going to be a part of our life. We're either in love or we're in loss. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at what this is all about. So if you have a look at this list, have a quick look and let me know. I'm going to go full screen on this so you can actually see it. Sorry, I didn't do that. Oh, going the wrong way. Isn't that annoying? Okay, I don't know how to get back. Just give me a quick sec. I will just get back there. Why actually, right, let me just start again. Stop sharing, share. Okay, sorry about this, but that's what happens. It's technology, and does it really matter? Probably not. And that's what people need to understand. It doesn't really matter. Let me just get this up. Share. It's not going to want to share. Okay. It's always the way, isn't it? When you think you've got everything working really, really well, and then it decides, no, we don't want to play like that today. We're going to play differently, and that's okay. Oh, there it is. Right, let me just go to on current slide. Okay, we've got it up. Cool. Right, let me go full screen on that. There we are. We've got it. Okay, so let's have a look at that list and actually, type into here. Let me know how many of these experiences or loss events that you've had in your life, because there's a lot of them. And a lot of people, I've shared this list many times, and I had one person say to me, I've had 21 of those loss events in my life and I'm only 40. So what is this all about? Now, when you look at that list, you may see that there's some things that seem positive, but why are they on a grief and loss situation? Let's look at something like pregnancy. Now, I totally understand. Pregnancy is an amazing time in your life, and it can be quite positive. But it's also, you are losing something to gain this. So in order to gain a baby, you are losing your life, the way that you knew it. Let's face it, when you have a baby, your life is never going to be the same again. You won't be the carefree, let's pick up, and go away for the weekend as easily as what we did before. And that's what loss is all about. It's knowing that whatever from this time forward, our life is going to be different than it was yesterday because of this loss event. And it really is that simple. But because we are so attached and emotionally connected to this person, place, or thing that we have lost, that's what causes us the grieving and suffering. And that's why a lot of us get so stuck. So let me just go over here. So I'd like to say, are you ready to learn how to be able to move beyond suffering and grieving? Because that's what I love to do. And it really is important. And today I'm just going to really just slightly touch on it. So my program is called The Gift of Loss. And I totally understand that most people, they look at me and they go, Karen, you lost your son. How can you say there is a gift in loss? Like, your son isn't here anymore. And I always say that it's not the loss event where you find the gift. It's who you become after that loss is where you will find the gift. Now, I would love to have Dan here in the physical realm. I spend just as much time with him when he's in the spiritual realm as when I, probably more time than I do with his two brothers who are physically in this realm. And I do say that Dan is the co-founder of the Chaston Centre. Like, without his guidance from beyond, I certainly would not have the understanding and the know-how and the beliefs and everything that I'm doing now. I am a completely different person to who I was prior to his passing. Now, not that I was bad, I was just different. I was more into my ego. I was into my career. I was, if I'm honest, I was always angry. And that's not good. It's not good. It's not good for me physically. I was probably on a fast track to some sort of disease, cancer, stroke, type 2 diabetes. And that was just from the lifestyle of living a busy corporate life. And that's why it's really good that I sort of took the time to stop, which is why stop is the first step in the gift of loss process. And I really want to deep dive into stop because I want to ask you a whole lot of questions, because we live in a world that is so busy all of the time that we don't honor ourselves a lot of the time. We don't stop. We don't stop and even walk in nature or take that conscious, loving breath. You know the one where you just sort of breathe in slowly all the way down into the hypothalamus gland, into the nerve endings of the hypothalamus gland, which are, let me just get this happening right, which are in your belly. Like when you breathe deep down into your belly, it's really surprising what actually happens, because it's like you fill yourself up with all of the love and the wisdom and the power so that you are able to ask yourself some meaningful questions. Because what I've found is that it's the questions that you ask yourself really do have an amazing indication of where you are in life. Because many times we don't ask ourselves questions. We're too busy asking everyone else the questions that ideally it would be better if you started asking yourself, because you are the master you are seeking. You have all of the answers for yourself. No one else can have the answers for you. And that's why when we start asking different people the same question, we'll always get a different answer, which can leave us even more confused, because it's like, well, what is the right answer for me? And that's why many times, because we're too busy asking other people what is the best way for us to move beyond what is happening in my life, we get these conflicting answers. We get stuck because we're like, I don't know which way to go, because if I go this way, Sally Joe is going to say, well, I told you not to do that way. But if I go another way, someone else is going to say, well, that's not what I told you to do. You did the complete opposite to what I told you to do. And that's the thing. You will be getting conflicting answers. And that's why it's important for us to take the time to stop. Because when you stop and do that conscious loving breath, as I said, you will fill yourself up with your love, your wisdom, your power, your strength, so that you can actually then hear the answers from within, which are the most ideal answers for you. Now, no one has ever walked an inch in your step, in this lifetime of yours. So no one knows the scenario of what has happened to bring you to where you are. There is only ever two people in any relationship. So if it's a relationship that you've lost, and the relationship could be with a loved one who is still in this realm, or with someone who has passed. It could be a relationship, as in your job, that you have lost. It could be your health or your wealth, your pet. or any of the other 40 plus loss events that can affect all of our lives. And it's really important for us to understand that when there is only two people in that relationship, no one else knows what that relationship was like. Only you and the other person. You are the ones who had hopes, dreams, and aspirations together. You are the ones that hung out the way that you did, the things that you did, the things that you said, the places that you went together. Only you two have those memories. So it's really hard for you to ask someone else for advice when they really weren't part of that relationship. Sure, we all think we understand other people's relationships, but we're not with them all the time. So we really don't. We only have a short little glimpse into what they were actually like together. And sometimes, you know, people will say to you, well, I don't really understand why you were ever with that guy, but then, or girl, or whoever. And it's such a what's the right word? It's not selfish, probably ignorant. It's such an ignorant statement because obviously the person was with them for a reason. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Now, I've just had a look here. Hi, Susie. Pauline, I don't do readings. I don't do messages. I help people how to move beyond loss. So maybe that's the message that you are seeking today, is the wisdom that I love to share. And I totally understand if you decide that this is not for you, but I don't do card readings. I don't connect you to people on the other side. Maybe the message is what I've just been talking about, that you are the master you are seeking, for you to start to tune into who you are and start to ask yourself some really, really meaningful questions. I'm just going to take a quick sip because I've been talking for nearly 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone. So that's what I love to share, is that now when you start to ask yourself these meaningful questions, you will get an answer, and it could be in so many different ways. And a lot of the time we think, well, that was a waste of time. Like, I never got an answer. Expecting, I guess, whether it's a phone call or a thought in our head. But the messages come differently. Like, you know, it's not a thinking thought. It may be a feeling thought. It could be even in a TV show. Like, I have received so many amazing messages from things that they say on a TV show. And it could be a comedy, or it could be something else, but you receive so many amazing messages when you choose to tune in. It could be on a number plate. It could be on a billboard, or it could be in a passage that you're reading in a book. So it's really important that when you ask a question, right, about what is maybe the next ideal step for you, that you allow it to come in many different ways. We live in a world of infinite possibilities. And so often we limit ourselves, thinking, well, it has to be this way, or it has to be, you know, another way. But open yourself up to all of these infinite possibilities, because you will be amazed at what happens. And another thing is, really open yourself up to knowing that there are no coincidences in life. So if something happens, just start to go, oh, wow, that's interesting. That if it's not a coincidence, so what does it mean? Is that the way that my guides and my higher self and all the masters, is that the way that they're actually giving me the answer? Because it's not as though they're going to pick up the phone and go, hey, this is what is ideal for you to do. And it is about us like going, okay, there's all these little breadcrumbs. So let's follow those breadcrumbs, and then we can go, oh, wow, that is my answer. So that is it. If you hear something, the same thing 2 or 3 times, really take note, because that is the way that they really do help you to go, this is the answer for you. So if you do hear something, it could be, have you heard of this book or have you watched this TV show? Do it, because there may be an answer in that you have been seeking. I always am writing down notes. I'm gonna actually read some of them to you, because I just love, not only the world that we live in, like we're so connected, we can do these sort of things, but it's really important for us to understand just how connected we are. So, for example, I wrote this note yesterday. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. Now, isn't that amazing? Like, how often do we actually have an idea that we go, this is what I want to do? And then we have all of these people say, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? And, oh, that's way too big. How are you going to get that done? That's going to take you forever to do. So that's what I loved about this comment when I saw it. And I think I saw it I can't even remember where I saw it. It was probably in a TV show. So don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. So if we don't allow other people's opinion to come into our big dreams, what sort of big dreams would you be having? Let's explore that. I'd love for you to type into the comments some of these things that you would do if you, or would have done, if you hadn't allowed other people's opinion of you being able to accomplish this big dream of yours. What is something that you would have done? Hi, Melinda. Great to see you here. So come on, let's play. Let's play for a little while. What are some of the big dreams that you would actually do? When I was a CFO of a publicly listed company, I seriously kept myself small. Good on you, Katie, work for yourself. What sort of work would you do, Katie? Because today is the day that you can actually stop saying one day and you can start to say, well, today is the day. Even if today is the day that you start planning on how you can work for yourself. Katie, what would you do? What is it that you would love to do and work for yourself? Because believe me, we live in a world where you can actually start to do that. You can still keep your full-time job, and you can just start planning and slowly start building. Own my own spa. Okay, so do you work in a spa now, Katie? Finish the course I'm doing at the moment. Good on you, Kerry. And that's it. So what's stopping you from finishing the course that you're doing at the moment, Kerry? Katie, what is it that needs to happen for you to be able to own your own spa? Have you even started to even write down all of the things that need to happen to get you to owning your own spa? Now, what I've found is when you start to list the steps, that's your first step, is going, these are all of the things that needs to happen for me to own my own spa. And you can sort of add win lotto if you want to, but let's be realistic and actually start to say, what are these steps, right? It could be 20 steps. It could be a 10-year plan, even a 20-year plan. But until you start listing the steps and taking the actions of making all of those steps happen, that's how you get to own your dream. And that's how you get to have people stop saying, that's just an unrealistic dream. It's like, no, it's my dream. And if you believe it, you can receive it. Maybe that's the first step that you write down somewhere all over you, over your walls or whatever. I will own a star. And you don't have to put a date on it, but you can say, I am taking steps each day towards owning my own spa. And it really does become quite simple when you start to do that. Of course you can do it, Kerry. I've been interacting with you for ages, and it is a belief, right? And it's busting through your beliefs that are stopping you from actually taking those steps forwards. Because the fact that you started the course, that's a huge step in itself. That is the most important step, is the fact that you've taken that first step. You've signed up for the course. I assume that it's an online course, and that's why there may be some things that are stopping. What I have found in life is that to make it happen, we have to put it in the calendar. It's not going to happen unless it's in the calendar. So if it's your study time or your review time, put it into the calendar. And it might be a couple of hours a day that you just say between noon and 1, well, maybe not noon on Mondays because then you won't talk to me, but you know what I mean. And then it's about you actually saying, right, between this time and this time, I am never moving my schedule. I am going to complete my coursework. I'm going to make it happen. And then before you know it, you'll see that you've done more and more and more, and you've grown. And the more that you achieve in doing your modules in your course, the easier it will become, and the more that you'll be able to believe in yourself, because it's really quite clear in front of you that you have been taking those steps to make it happen. Okay, it's a lack of support that stops me the most. Okay, Katie, why do you require other people's steps? Why do you require other people's support? Why? These are the questions that I'd like you to ask yourself. You don't have to answer them for me, but these are the questions that is really ideal for you to sit down and deep dive into you, into your self-worth, into your self-love, your self-belief, and your self-knowing. What is it within me that requires healing so I can move forward without requiring the support? Okay. Financial support is different to every other sort of support. If it's financial support you're talking about, maybe that's what you're waiting for. But start to take the action steps. Start to show yourself, your higher self, and all of your guides from beyond that you're taking the action steps. And believe me, the support will come, because the more that you start to take those action steps, whether you have people on board or not, the more that you will start to inspire others. And the people who you're waiting to support you, you'll be really surprised how quickly they will flip, and they will go, wow, look at you go, girl. I'm so proud of you. I knew you had it in you. And then you'll sort of go, what? You were the one that was, my least supportive person. What do you mean you knew you had it in you? People are funny. They really are. People want to keep you where you are now because, you're my friend. I want you around, and I want you to be here and available when I want to do things. And if you go off and own your own spa, well, you won't be as available as what you are now, because you will be busy running your spa and, growing it and doing all of those sort of things. So really start to understand that you are the only person that you are going to spend your entire life with, right? Now, that's really huge. I was in my 50s, mid-50s, before I got this. And it really surprised me that I hadn't figured it out at a much younger age. I was like, I'm a pretty smart person. Like, I've got a master's degree. I've got this, I've got that. Why didn't I figure that one out earlier? So I'm going to say it again and write this one down and really start to understand it. You are the person you are going to spend your entire life with. Okay? So why are you putting yourself last, giving up on your dreams, and waiting for everyone else to come along with you? You are the only person at the end of your life that is going to reflect back on your life and look at the things that you did or didn't do. And I can tell you now, it's the things that you didn't do that are going to be your greatest regrets, more so than the things that you did do, because you did them. So now, right now, there is no other time. Sure, 20 years ago probably would have been a better ideal time, but now is all that we have. So today is the day that you draw that line in the sand and you say, okay, this is what I want. It doesn't matter if it's 10, 20 years down the track. This is what I want. And then you get out that piece of paper and you start writing down every single step that needs to happen for you to realize that dream down the road as becoming a reality. It doesn't matter if you've got 5 things on that list or 500 things on that list. You have the list. You have started. You have started being able to look at your life, which will be one of your greatest achievements. And you'll turn around and you'll go, this is what I truly, truly want. So then you start, rearrange the things on your list in order of what has to happen in order for this to happen. Like there's no point in I open the doors to the spa if you haven't even got the spa. So you got to put them all in order of what happens in order for that to become your reality. And then each day you do something on that list. You may even have to break your items down even further, but that's okay. As long as you start at the beginning each day, spend 10 minutes, half an hour, do something each day towards achieving that goal. And before you know it, you will be so far down your list, you'll be going, oh my God, how easy was that? Instead of having all of these reasons in front of you as to why you can't do it, start to have all of the reasons as to why you can do it. Now remember, impossible is I'm possible. So don't look at any dream and say it's impossible. Look at it and going, I'm possible. I'm possible of achieving this dream. It's me that will achieve this dream. Not waiting for someone else to support me and to be there for me. I will be my support. I hope that has helped you. Let me know. Okay. Maria, resonate. I want my own business in beauty as well. Finished course as well, but at the halt in myself. Maria, I hope that has helped in what I've said, because as I said earlier, I don't know if you were on, it truly is you are the master you are seeking. You are the one that will either get you to where you want to be or not get you to where you want to be. But it's about asking yourself the questions. Your life always is a reflection of the quality of the questions you are asking yourself. So start asking yourself quality questions. What is it that I need to do to open my spa, to open my beauty business? What is it? What are the things that I can achieve now? You've done your course. Amazing. Like that obviously is your first step to do. There's no point in saying I want to open up a beauty spa and I've never done anything in beauty or anything like that before. Obviously you've done stuff. And then it's about, once you are looking at it, start looking for premises. Start looking for people who can collaborate in your business. Because if you do this, you also want other practitioners in there. So start looking for collaboration. We're really in the world of collaboration at the moment. Sure, you'll still be the owner, but it is about having other people. There's a million people who are looking at ways to come together. There's 2 of you here. I don't know if you live close to each other. Connect with each other. See how you can become accountability buddies for yourself. Even if you live in different parts of the world, having an accountability buddy is one of the greatest things that you can have in your life, because you're both trying to achieve a similar thing. And you're both being supportive to each other. You'll be amazed at how different your life can be when you just have even one person on your side cheering you on. We all require our own cheer squad. So why not find yourselves today, the fact that you're both doing similar things, just message each other, PM each other. Go for it right now. I hope this all helps. I find it really interesting that I've got a lot of K's on this call. For example, I've got Katie and I've got Kerry, and then I've got Maria, whose middle name is Christina. So it seems to be the K day today, because obviously I'm Karen, but that's just a little thing that I noticed. Anyway, so let's keep going on, because I'm still, running along at 30, I've got about 30 minutes to go, which I just love. Any questions, pop them in there. Let me know if that's helped. If you have any questions about whatever I've said, just ask away, ladies, because it is. I get support when needed. Thanks, Kerry. And remember that you can be your greatest support as well. Look in the mirror and start giving yourself the Fonzie salute. Start doing little celebrations. It could be and celebration doesn't mean going out and having a big, alcohol sort of moment and celebrating that way. It could be something as, when I get this, I will do this. And it could be that I give myself a little reward or whatever. Obviously, have the celebration reward in alignment with what you have achieved. But we need to celebrate ourselves more often than what we do. So often we are working away, and we don't give ourselves a pat on the back to go, wow, have a look at how far I have come. I was here just a month ago. And each week when you check in with yourself and you can see what you've achieved in the last week, have a little happy dance or do something, because the more that you celebrate yourself, the more that you will assist yourself to be able to go on and on and on. And ideally, a great practice is every Sunday night, Monday morning, this is what I'm going to achieve for the next week, right? In all areas of my life. And then, of course, you can then go even further and say, these are the tasks for each thing I'm going to do. Then you check in at the end of that week and you go, wow, this is what I said I'd do, and this is what I've done. Okay, I've done it all. Yay, celebration time. And then if you haven't, for some reason, achieved everything, that's when you ask yourself the question, what stopped me from achieving that? Because when you're aware of the things that stop you from doing something, then you can put things in place to ensure that nothing stops you moving forward. And it could be just a little ritual that you need. Okay, so now, great, Katie. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's what happens when I click away. Let me hide that. But thanks, Katie. Right, I'm just going to click over here and I'm going to, talk to you today now, because I did mention just a second ago about every area of your life. And it's important for you to understand that we all have a wellness wheel of life. And at the Chaston Centre, I have 9 areas of life. And here they are there. So it's you mentally, professionally, financially, family, socially, physically, spiritually, environmentally, and emotionally. Now, do you check into yourself and actually have all of this running along smoothly? I can tell you right now, when I was a CFO, there was no way that I even understood all of this. I didn't focus on all of my areas of my life. I spent the majority of my time in my professional space, and I wondered why, my relationships weren't ideal. I wondered why my health wasn't ideal. I wondered why I was always angry. So I didn't deep dive into who I was on an emotional basis. I didn't deep dive into who I was mentally. I did allow a lot of negativity into my life. I certainly wasn't as positive of what I am now. And physically, I wasn't as healthy as what I am now. Many years ago, I started green juicing, and I can tell you right now, my green juicing has probably reversed any disease that I was really, not going to say probably, I'm going to say definitely, has definitely reversed any disease that I was madly heading towards. I probably would have had a heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes by now if I hadn't chosen to change who I was in all areas of my life. And it's really important for us to understand that we have all of these areas of our life. Now, we won't physically spend as much time in each of these areas of our life as we will in our professional space. But the beauty of it is we don't need to spend the same amount of time in each area of our life, but we do require that we spend some focus in each area of our life each week. And it could be a 10, 15-minute focus. It could be a deep dive into our family, into every member of our family, and ask them, how are you? How are things going for you? You know, connecting to our family is one of the most important things of asking, how are you? What's going on in your life? When we are distracted with our own life in our professional space, sometimes family things can slip through the crack. And that can be why a lot of families can break down. It's because, oh, they don't understand me. We might say things that we didn't really mean to say. It was only because we weren't looking after ourselves physically, that we were tired when we interacted or whatever. We were emotional and they didn't understand us. There's so many reasons why things can break down. But when you're aware of ensuring that everything is running along smoothly, which is why it's a wheel, okay? Because let's look at each area of our lives as a spoke in a wheel. And for it to roll along nicely and smoothly and have a great ride, which is what our life is all about, we require each spoke to be in alignment, to be balanced. So if we're spending too much time in our professional space, not enough in our family or socially or looking after ourselves mentally, emotionally or spiritually, of course our wheel is not going to run along smoothly. Now, that's where you ask yourself those questions. What is required to ensure that I can actually be at having my wheel running along smoothly? What are the things that I need to do to assist me in this way? And that's what I love sharing with people. And this is the fact that when you know who you are in all areas of your life and you know where you're going, things are a lot easier in your life, because then you can, when loss comes to visit, you know that you've got these practices in place that will assist you not to go down and stay down and have all areas of your life affected by whatever has happened. I hope that it makes sense to you. So let me know if you understand what I'm talking about and how, where are you at in your life? Are you actually, looking after yourself? And because there's 9 areas of life, I've broken them down into 4 pillars, which is all about you, all about your relationships, all about your expertise, and all about your wealth creation. Because when you look at them, like in these 4 pillars, you can clearly see, am I looking after me? Am I looking after my relationships? Am I looking after my career, where I'm going? Am I emotionally attached to it? And therefore, am I looking after my wealth creation? Because wealth sometimes can be seen as a really dirty word, but it's not. We all require investments and money in order for us to have the amazing life that we all want to have. So the more that we look after ourselves, the more it will all flow easily into us being able to live and love our life. And that's what it's all about, is you understanding how important you are in your life. Because the more you understand how important you are in your life, not only is the easier does your life become, but it also assists you to be able to move beyond any kind of loss, because you will take the time to stop and look after yourself and ask yourself the questions, what does it mean for me now? And what does it mean for me moving forward? Because life is going to be different now because of what has just happened. If we look back at the 2020 pandemic, life is different. Life is never going to go back to the way it was before then. We're all bouncing forward, and the more that we understand ourselves and how important we are in our life and how we can achieve whatever we want to achieve, how there is only one person that is stopping you from doing anything that you want to do in your life, the more that we actually go, wow, do you know what? I am here to live and love my life. I am here to look after me mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I am here to have amazing relationships with all of my family, all of my loved ones, all of my colleagues, everyone who I interact with, even if it's a total stranger, and I just have a passing hello, how are you? Or, whatever. I'd love to tell the story of years ago. I was sitting in a cafe in Sydney and I was talking to a lady, and she was actually a client that I was assisting with. And I said, "Oh, excuse me for a second," because I saw this lady coming towards me. And I have to say, she looked immaculate. She was so well put together. There was nothing out of place. Everything was coordinated, matched. She just looked amazing. So as she walked past, I said, "Excuse me." And she sort of angrily went, "Yes." And I went, "I just wanted to tell you how amazing you look. I just, think you look so amazing today." And she looked at me again and she just took a little bit of a breath and she just went, "Thank you for saying that. I am having the worst day of my life and you have just made it a little bit better." And I said, "Oh, I would never have thought that by looking at you. I hope it improves for you." And she walked away. Now, I was so glad that I actually took the time to say that to this lady. And I must admit, when she was a little bit angry at first, I thought, "Oh, what are you doing?" But I just continued on and I honored the fact that I just knew I had to say something to her, because we never know what anyone else is going through. We're so good at suffering in silence, at, just putting on our face and then going out into the world. So if there's anything that you can do today is don't assume that you know what someone else is going through. Ask them how they are, but ask them not in a meaningless way that "how are you" has become, where we really don't really want to know, and we know that the person is actually not even going to tell us the truth. It's about asking, "No, no, no, I really want to know, how are you?" But make sure you ask when you have enough time for them to answer, because we really do live in a world where we're just so good at avoiding life, of putting ourselves last and covering up and putting on our masks and going into our avoidance tactics of, doing so much that we just don't live and love our lives. And that's what I do. And that's why I do what I do, to be able to help people to know that they matter, that their life matters, that it's really important for them to start to put themselves first and to love who they are, and to know that no matter what life sends to you, there is a gift in it. And when you take the time to deep dive into that gift and to find who you are, the easier it will be for you to actually live and love your life. Shamanda, oh, thank you. It is so important for us all to look after ourselves and to know how important we are. And so what I've found is, because most people don't know how to move beyond loss, I have created a amazing program which I call Revitalize Your Life, so that you can actually reconnect to you and to figure out who you are. And I just love to share it because it's just such an amazing program that I know how lost so many people are. I've just posted the link into here, and it is called Revitalize Your Life. And it's a 45-day experience of activities where you will receive into your own little dedicated area, plus an email each day from me, a new activity for you to do. And it takes less than 45 minutes each day for you to do it. It's an amazing program. And because I know how important it is about, honoring yourself. And because I know that so many people require this, I've actually made it $1 a day. That's $45 Australian in total. And Kerry, thank you, Kerry, has just said, great course. And Kerry has done the whole 45 days. And it's just an amazing course because it helps you to reconnect to who you are. It helps you to be able to say, I matter. My life matters. But it also helps you to deep dive into the reasons that stop you from achieving your dreams. It gives you the clarity, the joy, and the fulfillment so that you can really just put your big girl pants on and go, do you know what? I'm going for this. I have waited for so long for people to support me. I have waited for so long for me to be able to afford to do this. And I've waited for me to actually start to believe in myself. And that's what this course does. It gives you a new perspective. It gives you a new understanding of just how important you are. And that's what I love about it. And that's why I made it $1 a day. So it's $45 in total. Just click on this link that I've put in here and just have a look at it. Like, seriously, you'll be amazed at what a difference this actually makes in your life, because it does give you the clarity. And when we're lacking clarity, that's when we're fumbling around, not knowing what to do, asking everyone else, what is the best thing. So if you find yourself continually asking everyone else and not being able to make decisions for yourself, this is for you. This is the most ideal way for you to be able to go, I matter. My dreams matter. My hopes matter. All of my aspirations matter. And I really don't care what anyone else says moving forward. I am going to start to create the life that I have dreamt about. I don't want to be that person in that rocking chair looking back at their life going, why didn't I do that? Like, what stopped me from doing that? And that's why I say there is a gift in any kind of loss. I didn't have this awareness when Dan passed away nearly 10 years ago. I thought I was really successful in life, but I wasn't looking after me mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. I had relationships, but if I was honest, they needed work. I was fighting with more people than I wasn't. So it was really important for me to start to look after me, because when I did start to look after me mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that's when all of my relationships really started to become enhanced, because I started to realize how important they were. I started to realize how important people are, because people do matter. You matter. Your life matters. We all matter. And that's what I love, is the fact that when you understand that you matter, your whole life becomes different. You actually start to ask yourself those meaningful questions, and you really do start to say, I'm going to go get those dreams, because I really don't want to get to the end of my life and go, why didn't I do that? Like, what stopped me from doing that? I could have actually done that. You know, I look at my journey since I left my corporate life, and there's so many things that, you know, all my demons came up. I have to tell you, all of my demons came up, and I look back at them now and I go, why didn't I do that? Why did it take me so long to do this? Why did I take so long to just do a Facebook Live? Like, seriously, you know, it's so easy. It's just me talking, and I love to talk. But more importantly, I did the deep dive into me, and I found out that, you know, each morning I can do that Fonzie salute and go, hey, I really like who you are. I like what you've become, the person you've become. I like the fact that I have got rid of my not so ideal habits, and I am looking after myself, and I choose to, what I put into my body is different. I choose my relationships. Sure, some have gone by the wayside, but they were not ideal. They were negative relationships. And, you get to a stage where you sort of go, I just want to be positive. And if people don't understand who I am, I'm going to say, well, thank you very much and goodbye, because I don't need to have time with people who don't want to understand who I am, because I love to take the time to understand other people. So we have just about come to the end of our time together today, and I'd like to thank you all for being here. Is there any more questions that you'd like to ask before you go? I can see Kerry's already gone, and I know you'll watch the replay. Thanks, Kerry, for being such a great supporter here. I really do appreciate you showing up most weeks. I am very grateful for that. So, any more questions before we go, or is there anything else that you'd like me to answer? I'll give you a couple of seconds, and if not, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Monday, which is a public holiday in Queensland after the beautiful Anzac Day, which I love celebrating. My father-in-law passed away on Anzac Day back in 1985, which, my husband and I always thought was a perfect day for him to pass. Of course, we wish he'd never passed so early. He was only 68, but that was obviously his journey, or his contract, as we like to say. But he served in World War II, so it was, and he always loved Anzac Day. So I guess he couldn't have chosen for himself a better day for him to pass. So on that note, I am going to say goodbye to everyone, and thank you for being here. I will see you here again next week, which is always at noon Australian Eastern Standard Time. And of course, have an amazing week. Reach out if you have any questions, and remember, Revitalize Your Life is an amazing way for you to reconnect to who you are, for you to have the deep dive into you at $1 a day. I have purposely made it achievable for every person, no matter where they are in their life. So have an amazing week, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for being here.